participation. We're going to take a deep dive into his kit. I'm Gestel from Gestel Gaming. Thanks for coming by, checking it out. Let's take a look at his A1. A1 is Gotcha. Attacks one enemy. Has a 25% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. The chance increases to 50% if the target has any buffs. Now this books up, with 4 books, will book up to 50% on the first, or without buffs, and 75% if the target has buffs. Now, a couple things here. Obviously, anything on the A1, anything that's going to bring any sort of help to the rest of the kit or help to defeating your enemy, like a stun. Stun is awesome. That is a huge plus. Now, the negative, obviously need accuracy. And if the target has any buffs, that goes up to 75% chance, but it's likely that one of those buffs will be block debuffs. So, and it doesn't say it will ignore that, or it can't be, that this debuff cannot be blocked. So, you know, obviously it's an A1. I highly doubt that that would be the case anyway. So goods and bads with it. Obviously, you also got to worry about polymorph. Any sort of debuff landing on someone with polymorph, you're gonna have to worry about turning into that sheep. And on the A1 with Sun Wukong, you're gonna have to worry about it again. So, super strong. Definitely gonna be strong early mid to game counts where you know you're using him for everything. If you're a new account and he's like basically your only legendary, that stun's gonna be huge just for any sort of progression. You'll probably be using them everywhere. But in live arena, the stun could pose a problem, but could also be very good. Overall, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I think it'll hurt sometimes and it'll come out really strong sometimes. That's the way of arena, I guess. A2, Staff of Wonder. It is a 4-turn cooldown with 4 books that will book down to a 3-turn cooldown. This attacks one enemy, will ignore 50% of the target's defense. Awesome. Will attack all remaining enemies with any surplus damage if the target is killed. It sounds a lot like Baron. This attack will also ignore 50% of the target's defense. The attack cannot be critical. So the surplus damage will also ignore 50% of the defense, but it cannot be critical. So you're not going to be you're not going to hit one person, kill him, and then clear out the rest of the team because it's not going to be crit, but you're still going to be doing a lot of damage. That's solid. Baron can solo much of normal just by hitting A1s, a normal Doom Tower, just by hitting A1s in waves, so this could be really strong. Also depends how hard he hits with it. Ignoring defense is enormous. But here's the kicker, right? If the initial target survives, places a sheep debuff on them for 1 turn, this debuff cannot be blocked. This is super interesting. Now, nobody else has sheep. Obviously, polymorph. And for some reason, I felt like the polymorph was or the blessing was gonna be the only way sheep would occur. So this might mean that sheep's come into the game in a much bigger way. Maybe Sun Wukong will be the only one with this debuff. I don't know. Sheep is an interesting debuff. It helps and hurts. Obviously, when you have an opponent or when you're in sheep, when you get knocked out of it, you have no turn meter and like half health, so you're pretty easy to kill even after you get out of the sheep. But you can kind of maybe, you know, if you get a lot of debuffs when you're in the sheep, you come out of there and you have none of them on you. So, you know, it's a weird one. Sheep's a weird one. But now Sun Wukong's going to be able to do that. So what does this mean? A lot of damage, probably a lot of damage coming from it on a single target, which could do some splash damage. Now, if you don't kill them, that initial target turns into a sheep, cannot be blocked. But it does not say it cannot be resisted. So it sounds like you're going to be able to put this through debuffs, but you're going to need accuracy to do it. Now, if this hits really hard, do you really want to build him with accuracy? And by even building him with accuracy, I mean, are you going to give him an accuracy banner? It's going to be tough, right? So I don't know, maybe an offset and perception. I don't know. It's tough to build damage dealers with accuracy, and already every ability he has needs accuracy. Just quickly looking at the throw and seeing block buffs there. So you need accuracy, and you got to worry about polymorph. Now, the one thing that comes right into my mind, right? You're gonna turn someone into a sheep, and they're gonna have polymorph, and you're gonna get turned into a sheep. So, like, do you build with some resistance as well? He's gonna be a tough guy to build. I guess it's gonna all come down to how you're gonna want to use him, and how hard he hits. Obviously, if you're ignoring defense, you would expect him to hit really hard. So I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to see him in the game. It's gonna be really interesting. A3, moving on. Now you see us. That is a 4-turn cooldown with 3 books. Will book down to a 3-turn cooldown. This is attacks all enemies in AoE. Before attacking, steals all buffs from all enemies, then places block buffs. Debuff on them for 2 turns. Wow. Again, that's an awesome move. Insanely strong move, but needs accuracy, and you worry about getting polymorphed. Oh man, how do you build this guy? I feel like you just build him for straight damage, and hope you don't debuff on and get sheeped in live arena. But that is it's an interesting ability. Stealing all buffs from all enemies, and then placing a block buffs debuff. Man, think about all those Helicath comps out there in live arena. Super frustrating. If you watch me, on twitch.tv/GuestLGaming when I'm playing live arena, you know how frustrated I get into those heli comps. He'd be solid into that. Man. Yeah, I guess the concern really is accuracy, polymorph. But super cool ability. All 3 abilities very strong. And then here's the passive. Unbeatable Wukong. Revives his champion with 100% HP, 100% turn meter, 3 turns after they were killed. That's super interesting. Now, I'm guessing, if it seems to me the only way that this will work is if when he dies, his turn meter continues to tick. And basically he'll have to be dead for 3 of his turns on the turn meter. So it sounds like you want to make him fast, which would help obviously here, and is what you kind of want to always do with at least in live arena or any sort of late game arena. You want your damage dealers to be as fast as possible so that they're going before the other damage dealers. Obviously, pairing them up with a revive champ or with a speed boost champ I don't think would help in this point. The revive champ obviously will help, but the speed boost isn't going to help him when he's dead, or will it? See, it's interesting. I wonder how they're going to track the 3 turns. Will he, like, if you bring Lysandra in and she does a full turn meter boost for your team, is that going to boost it? Or the RB boost? So I'm interested to see how this passive will work. We got about 10 days till we'll get him in game, and we'll see how that all plays out. And then the aura, increase ally speed in arena by 28%. Now 20% is super high. I believe Arbiter is 30. And there's only a couple. There's only my man from the Demon Spawn, the Bomber. I believe he's the only one that's above that. Lord Shazar took me a second, but so pretty good aura as well. Now, Sun Wukong is a free champion. As long as you log in, you get him. So that means everybody's gonna have him. which could could mean any sort of progression in arena moving forward is going to be either easy if you can build him well, or difficult because you're going to be facing him nonstop. I think he's going to be a really strong champion. Now, what would be some good compositions with the Sun Wukong? Just off the top of my head, I feel, and I'm talking about arena solely. I feel like you want to pair him up with a speed comp, like maybe bring him with like an Arbiter or Lysandra. Get that turn meter flowing on him. I wonder if Rabbit would pair well with him. Maybe not. So Sun Wukong would, in a speed comp, would probably work well. Build him straight damage so he could AoE him and then come in with that A2 to kind of maybe finish it off on a second turn. I think that'd be a good build. Now, would you want to run him as like a debuffer and build him like accuracy? I feel like it's tough to do that with attack-based champs now. Roxham's out there now. You can get him in their event that's going on there, the Path event that's going on there, in game. He's similar in that he does a lot of debuffing, but is an attack-based champ, and I don't use him. So now he doesn't have the debuffs that Sun Wukong has. He's got like decreased defense and weaken, and there's plenty of people that do that. Plenty of support champs or HP champs, defense-based champs that do that, who are better suited for that situation. Now there are no champs that sheep, and I can't think of any champs that strip and then put block buffs. Like that's insanely good. Now, anytime I see an AoE block buff and on top of that a strip, I kind of also think about Hydra. How strong would he be in Hydra if you built him fairly tanky, high resist, high accuracy? I don't know. Maybe tanky's not the right word. Maybe. But still try to get as much damage out of him, and you're just gonna have to build around a lot of tanks around him to keep him alive or reviving him. Now the other thing, 3 turns dead after being killed, he's popping right back up in Hydra. That's a strong one too. Yeah, there's a lot of variations, man. I got stuff I'm thinking of that I didn't even think of before the video as they're coming to me right now. So. Hey, Sun Wukong, I think he's gonna be an awesome champ. Don't miss it out. Don't miss out on him. All you gotta do is log in for 7 days, starting on, I believe it's Tuesday, maybe Monday, the 22nd. So, I would say don't miss it. Give him a rating. Until I see how hard he hits and kind of how all this flows together. I don't necessarily want to say S tier, S plus tier. But I could see him being really strong and helping out accounts across the board, early game, mid game, late game, and hey, you might even use him in Hydra. We're gonna try it out on stream, so come by one day, twitch.tv/GestelGaming. Would love to see you. Until the next video, have a great night.